The Senate and House are closing in on an appropriations deal that would include new provisions for research, development, testing, and evaluations. Those provisions could result in the Defense Department playing what one observer calls a losing game. Bill Greenwalt is visiting fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, former Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Industrial Policy. Bill, welcome back. You refer me to a book, The Kill Chain, for that losing game comment. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, this is by Chris Brose, former staff director for Senator John McCain on the Armed Services Committee. And he looks at the fact that we're spending so much time on platforms and not looking at the actual command and control and the interconnections and networks of the kill chain that are actually more important in competing against a great power like China.
So when you explain it that way, it seems like a no-brainer. We should figure out first what it is we need to kill, what it is we need to blow up, and then think about how we go about doing it. It's what are you seeing in the appropriations language that the chambers are considering, especially on your Senate side, that would get in the way of that would prevent that or in some other way inhibit it?
Sure. Both appropriations committees are focusing primarily on platforms because that's the way the budget process works. And even probably more importantly, what we're seeing on the Senate side is essentially a attempt to slow down the new authorities that would bring these new capabilities to market faster. These include what's called mid-tier, other transactions, things like that. And that's very concerning, but the understanding is that they don't want to go essentially being promised, as they always are, a long-term solution in the future and not having capability now. So they're doubling down, trying to get capability now that's being produced, but at the same time, they're attempting to slow down some of these new things that should be coming in the next year or two.
What's the fix for this? Is it just a matter of trying to convince the right people to take this language out of the bill? Or is there something somewhere, somebody else, authorizers or something, can do something about this?
I'm afraid that the language is probably going to stay. That means it's going to be up to the Biden administration to decide how innovative they want to be and how much they want to push forward these new capabilities that this administration is set up for. I'm hopeful that once they get their leadership in, they will see that there's really no alternative but to focus on these future near-term capabilities, not 20 years out, but near-term capabilities that can change the balance of power in East Asia.
An official at one of the innovation cells in the Defense Department told me recently that the whole kind of mission, the way that they look at it, is to work around the situation as it's been set up for them. Is this potentially a solution, not a great one, not one I'm sure that Congress will like, but to continue to drive speed? Every uniformed official that I ever hear anything from talks about speed. We need to get these solutions in the hands of the warfighter as quickly as possible. When there's legislative language that proposes exactly the opposite, is just simply working around it a potential solution?
Not anymore. If they essentially throw more process, more testing, more compliance on these programs that are designed to go fast. And once you do that, there are no more workarounds. Essentially, what the appropriators are going after are the workarounds that the authorizers put in place so that the department could go fast. And instead, they are essentially sabotaging that language in such a way that it's just going to stretch out. And in the meantime, the Chinese and the Russians and all our other allies, our adversaries, are going faster. And that is just the situation that the Biden administration is going to have to address and work with the appropriators to essentially let them know that this is not the proper way to go.
You flagged for me the bill language, and as I reviewed it, I scanned it, I confess, because I am not the legislative whiz that you are, Bill, but as I scanned this legislative language, I couldn't find a potential benefit given the context of the conversations that you and I have had before and the other conversations that I've had on this program. Who does this benefit if it slows the department down and cuts innovation potentially? Why is this even here?
The benefit is still in the minds of those who believe that the 15 to 20 year process of developing systems is the right way to go. Thinking at it a little more cynically, whoever actually has current projects that are coming out the production line would benefit from this as well, because if you slow down what potentially is going to replace, you have to continue to produce what you have.
I want to shift gears in the time that we have left, Bill. There's some language in the NDAA, and I didn't see anything in the appropriations language that you flagged about reshaping the Office of the Secretary of Defense. A lot of conversation around eliminating the Chief Management Officer position in the authorizing committees. What's your sense of where that stands now and what that could look like for the incoming administration?
Well, I think this may be the CMO may be the crest of this desire to centrally manage everything from the Office of Secretary of Defense. And it looks like both authorizers have language in there. We'll see what comes out. But there is a desire to move faster, to decentralize, to get the decision-making down the chain of command, while insight is provided up the chain of command. And the CMO was a relic of that older time, and I expect that it may morph into something entirely different.
Bill Greenwalt, thanks very much as always.
Thank you.